Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so glad to be here again with our teacher, Curt Soloff. Hey, Curt.
Hey, Bashir, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. So I'm looking forward to your upcoming lessons on monster hands. I think specifically how to bid them and all the ways it can go haywire. But I recently played a monster hand and had a question less about the bidding than during the card play, though I'd love to share it with you and the viewers and get your input both about the auction as well as, how we plan our play with a crazy monster hand like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's load it up. So this was a random hand on BBO. It was in the Just Declare tournament. So the auction was already complete. So here we go. Let me remove that banner advertising our wonderful teacher. Okay, here we go. So lead comes down. We're taking all the information from the auction and the lead and partner's hand, dummy's hand at the same time. Curt, talk us through what you notice, what information we can gain, if anything, from all their passes, and what our first steps should be when we plan on trying to make this slam.
Well, I don't know that it's a slam I want to be in, but as you said, when you play Just Declare on Bridge Base, sometimes you get some very silly auctions, and they tell you this is where you must play it, even if it's not your idea of the auction you would have had.
Right.
One thing I would say is, all right, well, I don't know that this is a great spot, but the contract is not hopeless. So, indeed, we see that we get the 10 of diamonds lead here, and
that's good news for us.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks like the king of diamonds is probably with East, which is where we would like it to be. But we are more than a diamond finesse away from collecting the 12 tricks we need on this one.
Right. So I looking at it early, yeah, I was scared of the potential losers. I guess my first thought went to, all right, so how can we get rid of one or the other of our potential losers? And the potential losers, which I was worried about, one are, how do we lose to the ace of clubs? If they had led that, there's nothing we can do about that. Or if they had, first round of clubs. So, but luckily they didn't. So I'm wondering, is there any way we can get rid of the club three, the three of clubs? And then the other one, and this is the one that really, I was just scratching my chin. With this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spades in the south hand, missing the jack, and only one spade in the north hand. So we have the chance to finesse once. I know 8 ever, 9 never, but I didn't know what to do about 7 missing the jack.
Yeah, that's not a piece of advice you hear all that often because we don't really strive to play in that many 6-1 trump fits, but it does happen, especially if the 6-card suit is a good one. And your 10 is a huge card here. If you didn't have the 10 of spades, you absolutely would need spades to divide 3-3, right?
Right.
But the 10 gives you a bit of an added chance here. And as far as the trump suit goes, since eventually we are going to be playing on that. By the way, what you mentioned initially, if they don't want their ace of clubs, then yeah, I think the first thing we need to do before we worry about the trump is let's make our club loser go away on the second round of hearts, right?
Okay.
So we plan to do that.
Yeah.
And of course, we haven't seen what's happening with the diamonds. It could be that, if the king of diamonds doesn't appear here at trick 1, we don't know that our whole diamond suit is going to be good. So what do we do? If the king does appear and diamonds are 3-3, we're in real good shape. Should we try to rough a diamond while dummy has a trump for us to do that? Of
Right.
course, that 6 could very easily be overruffed, and then we could be in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do have some decisions to make here.
Luckily, at least one of the decisions come, if I remember correctly, one of the decisions we don't have to worry about because the king does come out. So there's a lucky break for us. Now, right. So was it, so we have ace, king, hearts. We have the chance to get rid of the 3 of clubs, risking, who knows, maybe you never know. I guess it would be unlikely one of them has just a singleton heart, but it's possible. So it could not work out. But
Yeah, I
was
think I
this
would do that first.
okay?
I think I would cross to dummy, take your 2 big hearts, throw away the club, and
Yeah,
now with the king of diamonds already taken care of,
yeah,
we can afford to lose a diamond or we can afford to lose a spade, and we're still going to make this slam as long as we don't lose both.
right.
So what are we looking at here? If diamonds started off 3-3, or if the 9 comes down, right? If the 9 came down doubleton, notice your spots. You've got the 8 and the 7, and remember the opening lead was the 10. So we
Oh,
want to pay attention to those spot cards. If the
right.
diamonds break poorly and we have to lose a diamond, then we just have to not lose a trump. We can afford to lose a trump. Now, you're wondering about the play of the trump suit here, right?
Yes, that's what I was focused on. But it's helpful to remember there is another possible route forward here.
So you will have to make the decision about the trump suit right now, because once you exit the dummy, I don't think you're getting back there,
Right.
right? And that's important. We always want people paying close attention to those entries to the dummy or to your hand,
Yeah.
and especially on these hands that are a little bit of a misfit like this, and say, all right, well, if I'm going to do something, I better do that something while I can do it.
And
So
actually, Curt, sorry to interrupt. Let's give the viewers a chance. And again, this was a random hand. This was not a hand constructed to teach a lesson. So pretend you're at the table. What do you do now? Do you try finessing the 10 of spades? Do you just play 3 rounds of spades and hope that the jack comes out? Or do you work with the diamonds to see if that way you can get rid of what's the hope, I guess, that if by playing
I
the diamonds though, do we still have the challenge of dealing with the missing jack of spades?
I think I am inclined not to try to rough a diamond in the
Okay.
dummy. I'm a little too worried about getting over roughed by the 9 or even the 7.
Okay. Right. So
So
so let's simplify the choice for the viewers. Choose between finesse that 10 or just play 3 rounds of trumps and hope that the jack comes out. Pause the video if you need to think about it. But yeah, put your money where your mouth is. Leave a comment down below or in the chat if you see that. And let's see how it pans out. We'll see if team 7 finesse the jack or just play 3 rounds. We'll see what works out. All right, Curt, back to you.
all right. So I guess sometimes we have to deal with math. Ugh, right? Um, the old joke is bridge players can't count to 13, right? So the opponents
I think
haven't
you
been.
have the title for this video. Sometimes we have to deal with math.
There we go. Yes.
Monster hands with Curt Soloff.
Yeah, we sometimes we hear people say, "I heard there would be no math today." Well, bridge is probably not your game. So if we finesse the jack, that's a coin flip, right? Either opponent equally likely to have the jack. That's a 50-50 proposition. The
Mhm.
opponents haven't bid. We don't know anything about their hands that would give us any clues.
Yeah.
So 50%, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other option, playing for 3-3 spades.
Hmm.
The likelihood of a 3-3 spade break is less than 50%, in fact. And so you
Right.
might say, well, we should finesse. However, if the spade suit breaks 4-2, sometimes the jack will fall doubleton, right?
Right.
And so when we consider that possibility, we're really close to being pretty even on this one.
Mm.
So I don't have all the numbers in front of me. I'm sure I can find it in my lovely official encyclopedia of
I would
bridge.
put money on someone watching it right now already knows it.
Yep,
It's
they
it's
probably
51.7.
already looked it up and crunched all the numbers. And yeah, that is, by the way, the Encyclopedia of Bridge, worth owning, worth being in your library, just for all the suit combinations. Because when you have a situation like this, it's a good reference. Hey, if this suit combination ever comes up again, how should I play the suit? What's the best play? Because it is pretty much a mathematical proposition. I mean, sure, we are guessing,
Mm.
right? But whenever we can follow the numbers, we'd certainly like to do that.
Mm-hmm. Especially without having any clue from the auction. What about from the lead? Is there any, does that diamond lead, and knowing that the king was in East hand, does that make it any more or less likely that the jack would be in either West or East hand?
I don't know if we can glean anything from the diamond lead, but I did see this hand prior to our discussing it, and I have a very, I think, hopefully, useful point for people when we get to look at this hand double dummy, and we may want to talk about that opening lead that Wes chose here. You had a rare, generous robot,
Mm,
because I would not have made the same lead on
right.
the West cards.
All right, let's take a look at that. All right, so I think if I remember right, I led the spade. I said, well, let's just see what East does. Didn't get anything from that. And here is where I just made the decision. You know what? I'm scared to finesse it. And I just went for 3 rounds.
All right. And so at this point, when he shows out and you know you have a trump trick to lose, now you need the diamonds to come in, right? So we need the diamonds to divide, or we need the 10 of, the 10 was led. We need the 9 to fall.
Right.
And in fact, it doesn't matter. You can knock out the last trump, or you could go ahead and play your diamonds. It isn't going to matter if the diamonds go bad and they rough with their natural trump trick.
So the diamonds they broke all right. And it turns out it's West, but West just keeps holding on to that jack as if just to rub it in.
Yeah, the robots like to do that.
So here we go, all 4 hands. So in this instance, the jack was with West with a 4-card suit. So finessing wouldn't have worked, but even at the end when I was looking at it, I wasn't sure what to make out of that. I didn't know if that was evidence of one route being better than the other or not.
I think the biggest takeaway from this hand might be the defense. And that is, West, do you think you have a trump trick? I would say yes. You have 4 to the jack.
Yeah.
And the spade bidder, the person with the spade length south, you're sitting over that person, right?
Right.
That jack of spades is almost guaranteed.
That's a great, yeah, right. What a great position West is in. And recognizing then that the jack is likely to be a winner, let's open it up to the house. What would you lead?
All right. So here's the big takeaway. If you think you have a trump trick, cash your ace. Make an attacking lead if you think you have a trump trick, right? If the ace of clubs doesn't cash, then you may not be beating the slam anyhow, right? But if you think you have a trump trick, jack 4th, queen 3rd, something like that, take your ace. So I think West made a mistake in going really passive And,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about that over the months, especially in dynamic defense and beyond. We have talked about, when we want to lead passive and when we want to lead active. This is a time to get active. You have a Trump winner.
Right. Thank you, Curt. As always, you bring needed and not even always foreseen insight to the hands. I always love, you always bring us back to thinking about defense. Of course, your class, defense is really at the heart and soul. You talk about everything, bidding, declare play, everything. But recognizing how fun defense is one of the things I appreciate most about being able to learn with you. Folks who are interested, use this link. There's a link below as well to learn more about Curt's ongoing lessons at LearnBridge Online and Curt's upcoming lessons on monster hands. We'd love to have you join us for those. Thank you, Curt.
You bet.
Thanks, everyone. Watch out for those monster hands. Oh, it's almost Halloween. Okay.